In this video, I will tell you things to think about before you buy your first aquarium. Be sure to watch this video to the end because there I will show you clips taken from a recent fish auction sponsored by my local fish club. The first thing you want to think about is, are you willing to spend the time it takes to maintain your aquarium? One thing you will learn after you watch this video and others like it is that fish keeping requires patience and planning. You will need to feed your fish twice a day, and also you will need to take time once a week for tank maintenance. Sometimes you will need to change the water, sometimes vacuum the gravel, sometimes move your plants. Plan on about 1 or 2 hours each week for that. Finally, you should also spend time watching your fish. Get to know them. Many fish have outgoing personalities, know their owners, and interact with them. And after all, spending time interacting and watching your fish is why you want to have them in the first place, right? Next, let's talk about your tank size. For your first tank, I recommend a tank between 20 and 40 gallons. And I recommend a tank stand for 30 gallons and larger aquariums. If you get something smaller, like a 10-gallon tank, you will limit your choices of fish to the smaller species. Another reason for a larger tank, something larger than 10 gallons, is that aquarium fish can tolerate a wide range of water conditions as long as they don't change much from day to day. It's hard to keep water from changing much in a 10-gallon tank, but something larger, much easier to keep stable conditions. But don't think too big. Bigger tanks cost a lot more money and weigh a lot. Each gallon weighs about 8 pounds, so a 20-gallon tank might weigh about 200 pounds. That could be okay on a sturdy cabinet. Now, let's think about 30-gallon tank. That's about 300 pounds. That's a lot of weight in one small spot. About a 40-gallon tank. Now we're talking about 400 pounds. 50 gallons, 500 pounds, 20 to 40 gallon tank recommended. Next, where do you want to put your aquarium? Ideally, you want to put in a room in which you spend a lot of time so you can watch your fish. Family rooms, dens, offices are great. Busy places or places where you are constantly walking by your fish and scaring them, like hallways, are not good locations. Also, you want to put your aquarium near an electrical outlet or two and fairly close to a water faucet. You will need to do those water changes we've already talked about and things like that on a weekly basis. Coming up, at the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you a little snippet of a recent auction put on my aquarium club. Also coming up, I'm going to be talking about where to buy your aquarium and whether or not you should buy an aquarium kit. I've got some really great advice for you there. If you are liking this video, please click that subscribe button and like the video. That will help me a lot. Also, if you have ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. Where to buy and should you get a kit? For your first aquarium, I do recommend getting a tank kit that you can find for a lot of these big box stores like Petco, PetSmart, and so on. I think they're awesome things for beginners. They're going to have everything you need to start your aquarium except for your fish, your plants, and your gravel or sand. Get a kit. Now, the next thing we want to talk about as far as the fish you're going to put in it and the plants you're going to put in. I recommend easy community fish and beginner plants. In case you didn't know, a community fish is one that gets along well with others, and most pet stores have labels on their tanks stating which fish make good community fish, which are good beginner fish. If you need help, ask your pet shop salesperson. Also, the same thing with plants. The plants will have labels on them stating which are beginner plants. If your fish shop doesn't, ask your salesperson. Beginner fish, community fish, beginner plants. Let's make it easy, simple at the beginning. Future videos, I'm going to be posting my top 5 fish and top 5 plants for beginners. Next up, cycling your tank. If you've started to research fish keeping and keeping aquariums, you've probably read that you need to wait and cycle your tank before putting fish in it. In this section, I'll explain what cycling is and how you can actually start putting your fish in your tank right away. Here is a simplified version of the cycle. Fish produce poop that has ammonia in it, and also the extra food you put in your fish tank breaks down into ammonia and other things. But fish can't tolerate ammonia. Fortunately, there are types of bacteria that can change this ammonia into nitrites, and then other types of bacteria can change these nitrites into nitrates, which the fish can tolerate as long as there's not too much of it. Fortunately, nitrates are plant fertilizer. So the plants in your tank will get rid of some of the nitrates, and the more plants you have, the more nitrates it will get rid of. Any excess you'll need to get rid of with your water changes. So more plants, less water changes. Now people call this a cycle, this chain from fish waste to ammonia to nitrites to nitrates to plants, a cycle, because in nature, in lakes and ponds and streams of fish, they eat the plants, which then poop the waste and then make ammonia, and then that continues the cycle. But we don't really have this too much in our aquariums. Most of the time, our fish don't eat enough plants to call it a cycle. So next, do we need to wait for this cycle to finish before we add our fish? And how do we know that it's cycled enough to add the fish that we plan? My recommendation and what I did is I just added a few fish immediately, a couple smaller fish, 2 or 3, waited a week, added 2 or 3 more, and then each week I kept adding more. Also, I guess when I first fed the fish, I added just a little bit extra food because the fish food, when it breaks down, it produces more ammonia. But just a little bit at the beginning. So just add a couple fish a week. So by doing this, you'll be having some fish making ammonia, which will help the bacteria multiply faster without producing more waste than the bacteria can actually handle. Even now, while you're just thinking about your tank and where you're going to put it and what you want to get and stuff like that, I advise you to look up your local fish keeping clubs on websites like Facebook and attend their meetings. Part of the fun of this hobby is meeting people who love to keep fish and, of course, who can give you advice when you need it. With this in mind, I'm going to wrap up this video with clips taken from a fish auction that was recently held by my local club. The auctioneers are great at getting your fish to sale. And yes, I did sell some fish there. I actually sold everything I brought to the auction.
$9. $10. You can have it. So, oh, and $1 in the bag. 12, maybe? 12. Pretty much split the image of the last fish we just sold for $60. So who wants to start me out at $10? Who wants to save my breath?
If you find videos like these helpful, or you just enjoy watching them, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, where I have many, many more videos like this one. I will be making many more videos on topics like beginning fish keeping and raising and breeding tropical fish in the future. If you have suggestions for future topics or ways to better serve you, please leave a comment below. My goal is to have 100 subscribers and 2,000 views for this channel by the end of October. If you like this video and other fish keeping videos like this, I have a playlist of all of my fish keeping videos here. I also have a playlist of my videos on bristlenose plecos here. I have a playlist of my videos on Corydoras catfish, and you can subscribe to my channel by clicking here. Thank you for watching.